Hey everybody, what's happening? It is Lawrence. We are live. We are on our way to Peace Talks. Tonight I'm doing it with my friend Arden. We are going to talk about peace, which is kind of fascinating in this interesting time, but appropriate because right this second, actually I just got a text about 2 minutes ago, and it was that North Korea fired a missile and it exploded at takeoff, which was, just interesting. I was, a lot of people have been really worried about escalating tensions. And when we're talking about peace, we can't talk about peace without, we can talk about peace on a number of levels, but one of the ways to talk about peace and think about peace, and if you've been following my podcasts, or you've been following the YouTube videos, I occasionally post the podcasts on here, you know that there are some really specific things that we want to be thinking about when it comes to specifically peace. And you know that on a kind of a minutia level, really all that's happening is a lot of people arguing about the validity of their beliefs. And I call those beliefs games or frames or buckets of mythology. Those are just the things that we talk about that we feel super strongly about. Most of us don't ever question them. We take them as fact, not fiction. And many of us we're certainly willing to destroy things for our beliefs, but many of us are willing to die for our beliefs every single day. And it's a fascinating moment in history where in a lot of ways, I think there's like this very heady philosophical thing that's happened, and it's really leaving people deeply out of touch with reality. Like our beliefs have really broken from reality, and there's this sort of thing about fake news and just stupid stuff. I mean, it's not even worth talking about. Fake news is so easy to spot if you have the right lens. So really what we're talking about with all of these things, we're talking about our beliefs, believing in the validity of our beliefs, and then looking for other people to echo our beliefs to prove that our beliefs are correct. So I have many friends, maybe even, there's a couple of you listening to this channel. I love you guys. And I'm not gonna like and share and believe and freak out about every freaking video you send, right? And some of you send a lot of them to me, but I can't not look at them through the lenses that I teach. So when I see headlines and news and, I hear people worrying about nuclear war, I've got to step back and say, look, there are beliefs with a small b, and then there are beliefs with a capital B, and then there are beliefs in all caps. The bottom line is when we're talking about peace, the precarious world that we live in of peace, or lack thereof. I mean, at any given moment there are, I don't know what the numbers are right now, but somebody could search and comment on it, but there are probably, certainly in the 40s or 50s of active wars going on in the world, border skirmishes, power struggles, probably a lot more. But there is X number of these things going on at any given moment on planet Earth, because we're all trying to, figure out how to, fight about borders and fight about our beliefs and all of that stuff. And so until there is some sort of enlightenment in the mind about the nature of beliefs, we're going to keep doing this stuff. We're going to keep stacking up missiles and dropping shit on people, and we're going to do that because we believe strongly X thing. Now, some of these beliefs are, as I said, they're beliefs with a small b, that you probably don't care about on a scale of 1 to 10. Did somebody really walk on the moon? Some people, I mean, I'm not going to get into the veracity of that statement. I'm just saying some people believe that with a small b. Some people are like, nobody ever walked on the moon with a capital B. Occasionally there are some people who believe that with all caps beliefs. But that is what our argument's about. And basically all beliefs fall into 4 categories. There's only these 4 categories of beliefs. That's the main teaching that I teach. You have hints here. I'm never going to out and out just give it to you, because if I just give it to you, you'll just be like, oh, it's another fact. You got to dig around. You got to think. You got to use your critical mind to think about what it is you believe, why you believe, and where did you get that belief from. If you do any kind of serious inner inquiry, it's very easy to see that most of the beliefs you have are inherited beliefs. So when we're talking about peace, we're talking about the conflict of beliefs. So peace is either going to be a kind of homeostasis where 2 perspectives just agree to disagree, and they just stay in this perhaps precarious but nonetheless a kind of stability. Then there is peace that comes from realizing that you could be wrong about what you believe. Now, unfortunately, humans, one of the things about humans that I think is fascinating is that we're really creatures that evolved to feel very strongly about being wrong. Like, if you want to start a fight with somebody, you just tell them they're wrong, and there's all kinds of emotions and feelings that come up, and regret and guilt and shame and all kinds of stuff, because that's how strongly we believe about our beliefs. And when somebody says we're wrong about something, most humans, there's a great number of humans, many of them will dig in more deeply about what they believe in the face of the facts. So when we're talking about peace, the only way we can talk about peace is to think about the different ways that peace occurs. One way that peace occurs is by being wrong and recognizing that you're wrong and considering that possibility of being wrong. And when we consider that possibility, that creates space to find, at the very least, some kind of understanding. So the problem with any kind of radical belief system and any kind of radicalized belief is that it really is based on the idea that it's right. And to even consider the idea that it's wrong or incorrect or maybe completely made up would be heresy. And that's the crazy thing about beliefs. Beliefs in reality are actually so unstable that we have to, in essence, fight with people and argue for our beliefs if those beliefs are questioned in any way. Depending on how extreme we are, we will, that could be a fight to the death, which is crazy to consider about something that you can't talk about in any tangible way. Like, that's the crazy thing. It's not like we're arguing about, is this really a Toyota? And somebody's like, well, I think those windows, the way I'm looking at it is, it's not that. Or, actually Ford makes some of the parts, or certain parts are made in Korea or Japan. So therefore it's not really, it's a Toyota, but technically it's not really a Toyota because it's composed of these other parts, whatever. You could get into that stuff, right? But at least we're talking about a vehicle. We're talking about an actual thing. We're talking about something, so we can have, it could be an idiotic discussion, but at least it's about something that there's some consensus on. Whereas beliefs are, for all intents and purposes, are just clouds in the sky that people are arguing about. Oh, I see Snoopy. No, that's not Snoopy, that's a cat. Well, fuck you, that's not a cat, that's Snoopy. Oh no, it's not Snoopy anymore. My God, it's changing. It's like we're talking about smoke signals, clouds in the sky. And yet the world is on the brink, right? At any given moment on the brink of like insanity, because people are more committed to their beliefs than they are to any kind of reality, and certainly any kind of consensus reality. And then if you can mix up and throw some confusion in consensus reality, then, hey man, all bets are off, right? If I can make you actually question gravity, I'm good. I can control you for the rest of your life. And that is really what's so interesting about peace, because peace is a concept, not a thing. And yet people are trying to talk about peace as if it's a thing, but it's really a concept. And so people have these perspectives about that concept, how to get there, what it means, but we're not talking about a Toyota. So when you are thinking about peace, or when you're thinking about, your concerns, for example, the reason I'm talking about this stuff today is because there's a lot of people who are concerned about, just escalating, basically Trump shooting off tweets and pissing people off, and they're like, my God, somebody's gonna strike back. I mean, maybe not, but just remember that peace is precarious, and right now, everybody in the world is just trying to figure out who this guy is. So nobody really wants to rock the apple cart. I mean, nobody wants to be that person. We have too many weapons that can cause mass destruction. So the only people, in my opinion, that are going to be trying to do something stupid with that kind of, some sort of something with any kind of big destruction is going to be, something a little more small, a little more personal. Because if you can get people being afraid of mundane things, then you've really affected a power and a control over people in their minds. So that's why, hey, we're no more in a fact-based reality. Well, that's bullshit, man. Facts are still fucking facts. And you got to keep that in mind. Like, nothing has changed. Facts are facts. They're facts. They don't specifically change. But we can undermine your trust in facts, and that is the equivalent of facts not existing. And if we can do that, then you are much more easy to control. So my homework for you, for those of you listening, those of you that haven't tuned off yet, hey, number one, share this video with somebody who could use it, right? I assert to you, we don't have to worry about North Korea right now, because nobody wants to blow everything up. Everybody's just trying to figure out who Donald Trump is. Is he as crazy as he appears to be? So people are trying to figure that out. So we'll see. But nobody's doing anything really stupid, because if you upset the whole apple cart, it's we're talking about the volume of weapons that we have on this planet. We're talking about almost certain destruction. So nobody wants to do that. And one of the reasons I will talk about in another video, if y'all are interested. If you're not interested, I won't bother talking about it, because I don't like to talk just to hear myself talk. I like to help you make sense of the world that we are living in confusing times, where you have a culture that is openly, and even a presidency that is openly trying to undermine belief and facts. And I assert to you that is because that makes you easier to control. But if you can step back to a sort of a 30,000 foot perspective, it's pretty clear to see that nobody really wants global insured mutual destruction. That's not on anybody's to-do list today at all. So you can relax. So then the question is, well, there are going to be some things. If you're invested in the stock market, I am promising you, I mean, I'm going as out there to say that before the end of the year, that in 2017, we are going to see a crash in the stock market. That will be an event, but that's a pretty predictable event. So, if you can be prepared, be prepared. But overall, I think any kind of events we see are going to be smaller scale. So that is basically all I have to say. My connection is going bad, so I'm going to sign off here. But, keep your eyes open. If you want to know more or you want to comment about this video, please do. And if you do want to know what I think the kind of the big picture is, the 30,000 foot connection, well, comment, share this video, get some people talking about it, and I will share with you my opinion through the lenses that I live through. All right, everybody, have a good one. We'll talk soon.